Viewers, I am beyond excited to introduce you to Lisa Nirell. She is a force in business and life. Lisa's mission is to help marketing leaders build stronger companies and better lives. She's a two-time author, a marketing advisor, an executive coach, a 100 Coaches member, and a LinkedIn Learning faculty member. You can learn more about Lisa at lisanirell.com, and we'll give you more details at the end of our conversation. But let's just get started. Lisa, welcome to Know Your Worth and Command Your Value video series. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Charlene.
Great, great. I am just going to jump right in, if you don't mind, with our questions. You've had this amazing career. You've been so successful. And I'm always interested to know, because we learn so much along the way, what is the most unexpected lesson that you learned in your career, positive or negative?
Well, the first lesson that I learned was really a gift that I never anticipated would keep on giving, which was when my brother, Mark, gave me a job at his stationery and gift store. I was 14. Don't tell the child labor law people. Right. My brother and my mother both worked in the store, and we had a panoply of customers who would come in. Some owned businesses, and then some were people off the street that wanted to buy Easter candy. Okay. And I had to adapt to so many different personalities. I worked the front desk or the front cash register back when we had cash registers. Right. And I had to learn to deal with a multitude of audiences. And I also found at a young age how excited I was when I could help somebody get what they wanted. And then watching my brother and my mother sell and upsell and help these small business owners was a lifelong lesson that carried me through even today.
Oh, that's great. That's great. It's always remarkable to me when we look back and we can identify points in our lives where we thought maybe at that time it didn't mean anything, but it actually means a lot as we go forward. So thank you for sharing that with us. One of the reasons, Lisa, that I'm doing this series is because I'm noticing that today more than ever, people are really grappling with understanding their worth or their value, especially at work. And I am seeing this especially with women and women of color and people of difference. So I wanted to start this video series to just give people ideas and what it feels like and what it means when you finally do recognize your worth. So I have to ask you, when in your career or in your journey, did you reach that point when you could say you knew your worth?
I have a surprising answer for you, Charlene. Understanding and recognize my worth ebbs and flows. So what I'm sharing is contrary to what probably some superstar billionaire would tell you. I have found that I've had periods of being very successful in my career and periods where I went through a kind of a breakdown of what's my brand, who's my perfect customer, where can I make the biggest difference? And it's exacerbated by personal successes and victories along the way. When September 11th happened, I questioned my worth. When my parents passed away, I was really in an eddy for 2 years and was kind of just lumbering along, running my business, but not really inspired and grieving. And during COVID, I then realized, well, all of those unfortunate incidents and life experiences prepared me for the pandemic. And I was really ready to adapt my business and shift gears much more quickly than 2 years. And that's why I was so motivated to write my second book, The Mindful Marketer. All those tools and all those methods of learning to recognize something and conduct what I call rapid discovery, rapid recovery are just a series of tools I've acquired over time in order to recognize or reinvent my value to my ideal clients and to the world.
And did you have I always say to people that I think life is made up of pivot points and pivotal moments, right? And it's what you do in those moments that determines your path or your direction in life. So as you were going through and dealing with so much all at once, was there a pivotal moment or pivotal time when you said, okay, reinvention is the option and I can do this?
Yes, well, that's only happened to me on days ending in Y. And I have so many, I would never be able to enumerate each
Right.
one.
Mhm.
I have had some big seminal moments in my life, and I'm
Mhm.
sure I'm going to have more. And
Mhm.
I always tell people, just based on the number of things that have occurred in my life, and I know you've had some big
Mhm.
seminal moments in your
Yeah.
life as I've read parts of
Mhm.
your book.
Thank you.
Um, I have to tell you, there are three things that I would give to people as
Mhm.
advice, which I always say to people. It's kind of like the song by Joan Baez, take what you need and leave the rest. The
Mhm.
first thing that I've learned is always make sure the first sale is to yourself.
Ah,
If
great
my
advice.
mindset is not in a place where I feel confident
Mhm.
and I'm not really standing in my value
Right.
clothing that day, then I need to do some more meditation,
Mhm.
some walk in nature, some affirmations, or some journaling. So I
Right.
have, like I said earlier, I have a lot of tools that I use in
Right.
order to get me back into that place. I'm
Mhm.
pretty good at adjusting rather quickly, but hey, I have days where I just need to go take a day off and
Right.
recalibrate. And the second thing is surround yourself with people who are a few steps ahead of you on the path,
Oh,
and
great.
watch and observe what are they doing.
Mhm.
Ask for feedback. Be very judicious with how much of their time you're using. And that's
Mhm.
something I really appreciated about you when we met, is you were very judicious with your time and with my time versus the myriad messages I'm sure you get on LinkedIn and other places. Oh, can I spend an hour and pick your brain? And
Right.
those can be somewhat overwhelming. And then the third thing is become a value detective.
Mhm.
And there's really only one question we have to ask: if the people who are watching this own businesses or work for an
Mhm.
organization, and you've got some very specific performance goals that you need to
Right.
achieve, always ask yourself, who is my client or my stakeholder,
Right.
and how will they be better off as a result of working with me?
Mhm.
What I find happening, and this happened to me just a week ago, I introduced a very highly respected college
Mhm.
professor of marketing to one of my top clients in
Uh-huh.
hopes that I would give her some new business opportunity. And unfortunately, instead of being a value detective, she went right into describing her 21-step process and
Ah,
her long she went into a resume
mhm.
regurgitation process
Right.
to share all of her experiences, and
Mhm.
completely lost the opportunity to align her value
Right.
with the needs of that potential client. And the client said
Mhm.
to me later, I didn't get a chance to even describe my situation.
Right, right. Do you think that, and I don't want to make generalizations, but do you think that some people just got so caught up in feeling like they need to prove their value or prove that they're worthy, that they actually miss the opportunity as opposed to just kind of walking in and saying, well, I wouldn't be in this meeting if I wasn't valuable or if I wasn't qualified. So let me talk about how I can help you as a customer. Do you think that happens frequently?
I believe there are so many potential reasons
Right.
for that. I can
Uh-huh.
only speak for myself and say it depends on the day of the week. And having stepped into the 100 coaches community over 2 years
Right.
ago, I can guarantee you it took me 4 to 5 months to just calm myself down and go, oh, these are my people. This
Right.
is this
Right.
is where I belong. They're also authors, and they've run companies. They've
Mhm.
owned profit and loss just like I have. They've had sales
Right.
quotas. They've been able to travel the world and speak to large audiences
Mhm.
and help a lot of people. I need to just kind of get myself to ease
Right.
into this and enjoy the ride.
Right, exactly. And yes, the 100 Coaches organization is wonderful, and you've been in it longer than I've been. But I think we all have that first initial experience of these are really great people who are in this, and they're super accomplished. And we know it's invitation only. And so we're thinking, why did you ask me? And then we realize, oh, wait, I'm falling back into bad habits. But it really is a wonderful community. And so, Lisa, the name of the show, of course, is Know Your Worth, Command Your Value. So I have to ask you, what advice, you've just given us three pieces of great wisdom. What advice would you give someone of any age in their career to help them know their worth and command their value?
I go back to my three strategies I just
Okay.
offered, and I'd say start with the one where you know you can do something every day and chip away at that particular piece of advice. And again, the first sale is to yourself.
That is such
And
great advice. Such great
and
advice.
that's the one that I have to think about almost every day and get back on that path. And the second, again, is surrounding ourselves with great people. And as we do in 100 Coaches
Right.
and in the Private Directors Association to which I
Mhm.
belong, and people who are out there really wanting to make a difference and
Right.
again, improve their customer or their stakeholders' condition. And that's the third one is
Right.
focus your language and
Mhm.
your messaging on how do I improve my stakeholders' condition, not I have a PhD, I wrote 75 books,
Mhm.
and I have 40 years experience. Because my New York is showing right now that people don't really care. It's a
Right.
different economy now. It's,
Mhm.
back in the industrial age, people cared about pedigree, and I think it's
Right.
lost that a lot of that luster has fallen off, which is why we've seen the
Mhm.
advent of Coursera and Section 4,
Right.
which Scott Galloway runs. Is people are looking for your ability to contribute
Right.
to a more diverse meritocracy
Mhm.
versus an elite set of people with a certain pedigree.
Right. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's much more around impact over intent, and it's what can you do, right? Not necessarily where did you come from, or where did you grow up, or where did you go to school? And I always say, there's nothing pedigree about my background, but I'm willing to do the work, and I'm willing to engage with what my clients need. So thank you very much. And I certainly think the idea of the first sale has to be to yourself. People don't realize that. And so thank you for bringing that to the conversation. I think that is such an important thing to remember every day. And maybe for everyone out there listening and watching us, maybe you need to write that on a sheet of paper and put it on the top of your computer to remember each day, because I really think it's just that important. So, Lisa, how can people learn more about you, and where can they find you? And tell us again about your latest book.
Thank you. Well, my latest book is The Mindful Marketer. And if you'd like a sample chapter and a group of learning tools and bonuses, I have a whole page full of audio book
Mhm.
piece content and sample chapters. Just go to themindfulmarketer.com.
Great.
I also keep my blog up to date at
Mhm.
lisanirell.com. So sign up there for additional updates as I learn them. I love sharing stories about our wonderful marketing leaders who are making a difference
Mhm.
and really creating healthier lives. The other thing is, I host a LinkedIn Live,
Oh,
and
great.
you're welcome to join us on the first
Mhm.
Fridays of the month. If you
Mhm.
follow me on LinkedIn, you'll be invited to our series.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And I can certainly give a nod for the quality of the materials that you offer, and certainly your blog, because I've been through it all, and it's great having been a communicator, or before I was a recovering C-suite executive. I was my career in communications and marketing, so I really enjoy your blog as well. So thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for joining us once again on Know Your Worth and Command Your Value. And just before I let you go, if no one has said this to you today, just remember You are enough. Thank you, Lisa. It's been great to have you.
Terrific to see you. We'll see you on the hiking trail, Charlene.
Right, exactly.